That's Toronto Necropolis Cemetery there. And we are going to go and have a little wander around and see if I can find some notable graves that I'm looking for. And I'll tell you why they're notable. It'll be my first time in here. Hoping I can go in. It's beautiful. Wow. So I have done a video from here previously. There's a few on my channel, I think. If you want to go back and have a look at those. But that's the first time that's been open when I've been here. So it's a beautiful little chapel. I mean, these entry gates, look at these. So nice. This is such an old cemetery, it's unbelievable, but beautiful. They kind of all are, aren't they? So this is the grave of Corporal Ainsworth Dyer. And Ainsworth served with the Princess Patricia's Light Regiment in Afghanistan. He's a soldier. And he and 4 other soldiers were killed with a bomb from a US plane in what has been described as friendly fire incident. 8 others were injured. So the brief story is that the soldiers on the ground were carrying out training exercises. US F-16 pilots were returning to base after a 10-hour night patrol. Pilot reported gunfire below to base. Controller told them to stand by and hold fire. Pilot believed he was being fired on, said he was rolling in defence, and he dropped shells, reporting a direct hit below. So there were inquiries, of course, and charges were brought against the pilots to varying degrees. And if you look up a Tarnak Farm incident, you can read all about it. But Corporal Dyer here was only 24 years old. So sad. Rest in peace, soldier. Rest in peace. Oh, Willie aged 5 years, Ellen aged 2 years, Fanny aged 1 month. Wow. Oh, bless. That's always so sad, isn't it? Any death is hard, but all his kids, so young. It's awful. There's some really prominent figures here which I covered last time. I'll put a link to that video or the videos that I've done from here previously in the description of this one if you're interested in having a look. Resting place of pioneers. Yes, a lot of them here that were originally buried in the Potter's Field at Yorkville, and they were when they created Yorkville, basically the bodies were retrieved and reinterred here. So in this place here effectively are Samuel Lount and Peter Matthews. They were both hung for treason after the 1837 rebellion. So Samuel was a blacksmith, farmer, magistrate, a member of the Legislative Assembly in what was the province of Upper Canada. He was hung as a traitor for being the organiser of the failed Upper Canada Rebellion of 1837, as I said. So in 1837 and 1838, insurgents in Upper and Lower Canada led rebellions against the Crown and the political status quo. The revolt in Lower Canada was more serious and violent than the rebellion in Upper Canada. Both events inspired the Durham Report, which led to the Act of Union and merged the two colonies into the province of Canada and resulted in the introduction of responsible governments. Sounds like a contradiction really, doesn't it? But I'll clean that off in a second, but there is a little plaque to these guys. And then we'll have a look at that a bit closer. So I've cleaned some of the debris off and you can just make out Samuel Lount and Peter Matthews, 1838. Now Peter Matthews was a farmer and soldier. They were both buried in Toronto's Potter's Field and moved, as I said, when the area was later developed into Yorkville. So they were reinterred here in 1893. I mean, a lot of prominent people were involved in that rebellion plot, but these guys were made an example of. No justice there, is there? But Queen Victoria pardoned them both in 1846. A little bit late, I'd say, but there you go. Let me see if I can get you a little bit closer to read this. The sun is full on in my face, so I don't know if you can actually see it, but we'll do our best. Just been attacked by a wasp. Sorry about that. It was erected by their friends and sympathisers, AD 1893. Wow. It's beautiful. Just says a little bit about them both. I can't read it through the screen, but I might be able to see it on the way back. The sun is really strong, but hopefully you can read it. This is talking about Peter Matthews. Rest in peace, guys. Rest in peace. It's quite worn, that one. Can't see anything. Joseph Abraham, 1852. His wife died in 1891, Margaret. 1858. Wow. That writing's all worn by the looks of it. Can't see anything. I can see some outlines, but that's about it. You're never gonna know. Burke, maybe? I don't know. John Evans, captain, died 5th June 1942, aged 50. Rest in peace, soldier. That's quite awesome, actually. Hannah Horseman. She died 1826 by the looks of it. She was like, oh bless, 30 years. Gone but not forgotten. Also Albert Abraham. He passed away in 1877, 10 months old. And then look at that tiny one next to it. Oh bless. Another youngster, Georgina. Bless. That's beautiful. Rest in peace, guys. Wow. It's difficult to read that one. Queen's Own Rifle, certain sign, Malcolm McFacran, looks like. Queen's Own Rifles killed in action in the Battle of Ridgeway, 2nd of June 1866. Wow. Rest in peace, soldier. Squirrel. Squirreling around. So there is actually quite a few soldiers buried here. I can't find the grave I'm looking for at the moment, but I keep finding soldiers. Oop. This is another one who died in the Battle of Ridgeway. Corporal Thomas Lockie. Wow. Okay. That's notable. Memory of George Paxton Young, for 18 years Professor of Metaphysics in the University of Toronto. Born Berwick-on-Tweed in Scotland, November 1818, and he died in Toronto, February 1889. So this is the final resting place of Joseph Bloor, and Joseph was an innkeeper, brewer and land speculator. He actually founded the village of Yorkville, and Bloor Street was named for him. He was born in Staffordshire, England, and he moved to Canada in 1819. So where St Lawrence Hall is now is where Joseph kept a hotel called Farmer's Arms Inn, and that's in King Street East. I found a picture of him online, which scared me quite a bit. Take a look. But yeah, definitely a notable person, Mr. Bloor. He died August 31st, 1862. And his wife, Sarah, who died in 1860. And Susanna by the looks of that, but I can't see the date when she died. But rest in peace, Mr. Bloor and family. Wow. John Helliwell was the son of Joseph and Sarah, and he died March 28th, 1867. He's only 38 years old. Oh my word. And they are buried side by side. Well, rest in peace, guys. Rest in peace. It's an enclosed one. I can't read the inscription though, unfortunately. It's quite worn. Sergeant Hugh Matheson again. The Battle of Ridgeway, 2nd of June 1866. Awesome, this one. Joseph Walker. Wow. Might see it better this side. It's the Walker family. There's lots of Walkers in this grave. Wow. Lions. Corporal John Robbins, Battle of Ridgeway. So guys, this is the final resting place of Kathleen Georgina Adelaide Christie. And she's in there, we can't really see because of the shadows, but we'll do our best. So Kay Christie, as she was known, grew up in Toronto, and she graduated as a registered nurse from Toronto Western Hospital. November the 27th, 1940, she joined the Royal Canadian Army Medical Corps, and in 1941 she was in Hong Kong working as a nurse. And she was working at a British military hospital. So 18 days after the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, Hong Kong's British garrison surrendered. Kay and another nurse were captured, and for 8 months even, they were held as prisoners of war. There she is. Just about make her name out there. So in September of 1943, after a prisoner exchange, Kay began her journey home. So her journey took her 10 weeks. But anyway, she arrived in New York and then she came on back to Canada. And it was actually years before she could or would talk about her experience. So she must have seen and heard some things that were absolutely awful. So although you can't see it too well, it says Dorothy Thorpe, Kathleen Christie, Molly Christie, James Christie, and next to that are some more Thorpes and Christies. But very courageous lady. I mean, when she graduated, she knew that during the war they were going to need nurses, so she literally volunteered her services. Bless her heart. Kathleen Christie, guys. She deserves to be remembered, in all honesty. I love that one. I saw that one before when I was here. It's awesome. And of course I'd be very remiss if I didn't come back and pay my respects to Mr. George Romero. Director, screenwriter, editor, and father of the modern zombie genre. Love it. George Romero. Rest in peace, George. Beware indeed. You can see there, but it says, now cracks a noble heart, good night, sweet prince, and flights of angels sing thee to thy rest. John, I don't know, France, Dunn, a native. Oh, I cannot see that, I might be able to see it on the video, but Devonshire in England. He died 13th of September 1883, 83 years old. Way to go, John. And Mary Dunn, his wife, she was 87 when she passed away. Wow. Another one from England. This one is always got something around. Phoenix James. Kaufman. Do you like that one? Sutherland. Reverend Alexander Sutherland. Passed away in 1833. Oh no, he was born in 1833, passed away in 1910. Wow. Gordon. It's just a general look round. There were a handful of graves that I wanted to come to see. One I can't find, unfortunately, and one I'm now looking for. But I found the rest. So just whilst I'm wandering, I'll give you a little look. MacDonald, and it goes all the way down to the road you see there. I mean, it's definitely a beautiful cemetery, but in my book they all are, even the unkempt ones, you know, they are all beautiful. And you know, you think about the history that's here in this cemetery and other cemeteries. So much history. It's ridiculous, isn't it? These people paved our way for us. They really did. Wow. Quite an old section, isn't it? Very old. I can't pass by without paying my respects. Edward Ned Hanlon. I've covered his grave before, but I've got to stop and say hi. And I'm still looking for the one I'm looking for. Rest in peace, Ned, I'm sure you are. Some of them are so faded now, aren't they? Shame. That one. Just a simple metal cross. The inscription's long gone, so I can't even tell you who's here. Wow. Some of them are well hidden now, look. Quite know what that was meant to be at one point. But it's all worn out now. Or worn down, I should say, not worn out. So there you go, that was my little walk around. I was looking for some particular graves, so I didn't show you as much as I normally would. It's the air show weekend this weekend, so I can hear the planes in the distance quite loud. Jack Douglas Leach, RCAF, 1942 to 1971. He passed away in 2013. Rest in peace, Mr. Leach. Rest in peace. Right, let's head off and go somewhere else. Gonna walk back to where I'm staying. There's a few things I want to see on the way, so I shall stop and do that. And for now, I say goodbye to everybody at Toronto Necropolis. Rest in peace, guys and girls. I have no reason to doubt that you're not resting in peace, but rest in peace. Some others on the way out. This is quite lovely. Mather's family. Pretty nice. Cool. And that's the chapel that we started off with. I'm pleased I got a look in there actually after all this time. I've been coming here for a few years now. I've seen so many squirrels running around. I haven't seen any coyotes, even though they've been warning that they're around. I haven't seen them, thankfully. That's lovely. There we go, guys. Dedicated to Constable Gerald F. Mills, Whitechurch Township Police, killed in the line of duty May 29th, 1968. That hurts my heart. Rest in peace, Constable. Thank you for your service. Rest in peace. I love this. So lush. There you go. The chapel there.